Oswald struck me as a young boy full of bitterness and hate. Someone not too well educated, certainly not a brilliant person. I would say he was extremely superficial, very immature, and very misinformed. He told me why he had decided to leave the United States and give up his American citizenship and apply for citizenship in the Soviet Union. He said he had indoctrinated himself for 5 years through reading books about Marx, but he actually knew very little about communism, and he couldn't apply what he had read to the actual life in Moscow around him. It was as if he were quoting just sentences from Pravda and Izvestia without really knowing what they meant. When he spoke, he held his chin very stiffly, and his mouth was tight and thin. When he spoke of the United States, the hostility that he felt for his country was quite evident. Afterward, I remember thinking what an unbalanced, extremely emotionally immature fellow he was. In fact, when other correspondents in Moscow asked me how the interview had gone, I had described him as being, well, he was just a little weird.
I'm Aline Mosby, a correspondent for United Press International in Paris. I remember in 1959, I was a foreign correspondent for the UPI in Moscow. One day we were tipped by the American embassy that an American citizen had come to the embassy and said that he wanted to give up his citizenship and become a Soviet citizen. Somehow we managed to track him down at the Metropole Hotel. I remember the room number was 233. I found this young man there, rather slight, fair-haired. He was quite intense and determined. He was a Marxist zealot and said that it always had been his ideal to live in Russia. His name was Harvey Oswald. He struck me as being a little unbalanced, obviously with personal problems. He had been brought up without a father. He admitted that he had had not very many friends in school, although he insisted he had had a rather normal life, playing football and basketball and so forth. He said he had begun to read books by Marx 5 years before that, when he was 15. Then he served in the Marine Corps, and he could hardly wait to get out, he said, so that he could go to the Soviet Union. He said when he finally got out of the Marines that it was like getting out of prison. He came to Russia and applied for Soviet citizenship. He told me that he wanted to be an electronics engineer, and he said that if living in the Soviet Union meant getting married and having a family, that he would stay there and do that. Little did I dream that I was talking to the man who is charged today with the assassination of President Kennedy of the United States. This is Aline Mosby of United Press International.